Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's Sunday, it's 12 o'clock, which means it's time for a Q&A. This is where I take all of your questions that you've asked over the course of the week and I try to answer them to the best of my ability. There are some amazing questions this week, which is fantastic. Don't forget, if you want to leave a question, please do so on this video. We get so many comments on this channel now. It is very difficult for me to see questions if they're asked on other videos. So any questions that you've got, answer them down, leave them down below and I'll try to answer them next week. If I miss a question, I'm really sorry, ask it again. There are so many questions, I'll try to get through as many as I can. Again, there's some brilliant questions this week, so without further ado, let's have a look at the first question. Very quickly, before I start the Q&A, guys, don't forget that we have got this live show going out on the 3rd of April. So on the 3rd of April, I've got a live virtual show starring myself, Ryland, Tom Mullinger, Jester Styles, and Roman Armstrong. Thank you for everyone that's bought tickets. Tickets are £15. However, for anybody on Magic TV, I'm doing it for £10. The other thing that I'm doing on the Sunday night at 9, is it 9 o'clock, Sarah? Sunday night at 9 o'clock, I'm doing a lecture full of unpublished material. I'm going to do a 1-hour lecture, all on fully unpublished material. The only way you can get on that lecture is by having a ticket to the virtual show. So you pay £10, you get a ticket to the virtual show, which is 7:30, Saturday the 3rd of April GMT, and then 9 o'clock on the Sunday night at 9 o'clock GMT, you have access to the whole lecture. Thank you for everybody that's bought a ticket. We have, how many tickets sold now? 190? Yes, she says about 100. So we've got 100 people, laymen and magicians. More laymen than magicians at the moment?
Yes.
Yeah, but a whole bunch of people. If you want to join, it'd be amazing to see you. Ryland's going to be doing some amazing stuff with Rubik's Cube. So if you want to see Ryland perform live, honestly, we did a dress rehearsal. And do you think Ryland stole the show in the dress rehearsal?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. So yeah, it's going to be next Saturday. Check it out. It's going to be absolutely amazing. If you want tickets, there is a link down below to a special form on the Magic TV website. Fill that in, and then Sarah will send you over the ticket for the show, and she'll also send you over the information that you need to get the lecture on Sunday night. Let's get on with the questions. So the first question isn't so much of a question, it's more of a comment, but it was kind of left, it was a question / comment, but I'm going to address it anyway, and it was left by JM, Justin Miller, and Justin was talking about my video that I put up last Friday, when I talked about elitism in Magic, and he made the point of that I was wrong, and that all exposure on YouTube is bad, and the simple fact is not everybody can be a professional magician. It's a calling, and we shouldn't allow everybody to get access to the secrets because not everybody can be a professional magician. So I want to address that first of all. First of all, I want to say out that I have no beef with JM at all. I have no problem with Justin Miller. This is not me attacking him. This is not a rant. This is not something that's going up on Friday at 9 o'clock, which is why it's in the Q&A. And Justin is entitled to his opinion. And here's the thing. I know one thing about Justin, which is that he is very passionate, as well as being an amazing creator of magic and an incredibly clever guy when it comes to creating magic. He is also very passionate. I know from having spoken to him over and over again, he loves magic. And you know what? I genuinely believe that that is what he believes. I think he's wrong. And there's no problem there. The bottom line is both me and Justin can agree to disagree without getting into an argument about this. And I know that for a fact. But here's my opinion. My opinion is, and I kind of went through this on the rant video, I covered this whole topic, but as it's been brought up again, let me just reiterate this. My opinion is that everybody should be given the knowledge that they need to become magicians. Now, I agree, not everybody can become a professional magician. Not everybody can become but anybody can learn how to do a simple magic trick. And that sort of thing can bring joy to people's lives. Like, you look at how many uncles have we known over the years that have mastered a very simple French drop and have spent time and time again making coins disappear and pulling it out of their kids' ears or out of their nephew's ears or wherever it might be. How many magicians watching this got into magic because their uncle or their an elder relative made a coin disappear and made it appear from behind their ears? There's going to be a lot of people that did that. So you're right, not everybody can be a magician, we shouldn't be stopping people from trying if they're passionate and they want to learn. Magic's a hobby at the end of the day. Yeah, and I really don't think, I see it a lot of time in magic. I see people looking down. Professional magicians look down on amateurs. Oh, you're not a real magician because you don't ask money for it. I get paid as a magician, therefore I am a real magician. And I think that attitude, it stinks, frankly, because just because you're not a professional magician doesn't make you any less of a magician. Look at people like John Gustafaro. Look at people like Ryan Schlutz. Look at people like John Bannon. These are people that are not professional magicians. Joe Rhinefleece, the list goes on and on and on. They're not professional magicians, but they are regarded as some of the best magicians in the world. And if it wasn't for people like Joe Rhinefleece and John Bannon, we wouldn't be having half of the wonderful material that magicians now perform professionally all over the world. But they've chosen not to be professional. And that's what I mean by elitism. Sometimes professional magicians will look down on the amateurs and the hobbyists as if they're second rate, but they're really not. The problem with being a professional magician is when you start doing this for money, you suddenly have to sacrifice the integrity of your art for money. I've gone and done gigs that the only reason I've done it is to get a paycheck. It's as simple as that. So I think that, amateurs and hobbyists, they can be pure with the magic that they perform, right? And I don't think we should be saying, well, you can't perform magic, because Justin is right. Not everybody can be a magician, but everyone should be given the opportunity to learn. I bet there's magicians out there that are professional magicians or amateurs or hobbyists that weren't naturally very good at it. I wasn't. If you ask anybody, Sarah's sitting behind the camera right now. Sarah, am I clumsy?
Yes.
Am I completely discoordinated?
Oh, you're terribly uncoordinated.
Uncoordinated, totally. If you saw me, you would not think that I could do magic. In every other aspect of my life, I am... She's laughing right now because it's true. In every other aspect of my...
If something can be spilt, you spilt it. If something can be dropped, you drop it.
I am so clumsy. Anybody will tell you. I am not a natural magician, but I've just practiced damn hard. And Sarah will say over and over again, I can't believe how you can do magic because you just suck at doing anything. And
it's at least once a week.
And it's true. If you looked at me before I got into magic, you would say, hang on, this is a guy who's definitely not cut out to be a magician. And maybe you're right. But if that barrier to entry had been put in front of me, I wouldn't be where I am right now. So how can we say somebody should or shouldn't be a magician? How do we make that distinction? How do we make the cut? If we're going to say not everybody can be a magician, then how do we stop those people? Who do we stop? How do we segregate it? Because the bottom line is everybody is allowed access to knowledge, in my opinion. And if somebody has the willfulness and wants to invest the time and effort and money to go on YouTube and spend time watching videos that can sometimes be half an hour, 45 minutes or an hour, whatever it may be, to learn this stuff, then that's fair enough. They're investing time. There's no difference between that and what I did back in the day, which was go to a library and pull out a magic book. If somebody, we should guard the secrets, but we shouldn't lock them up so that nobody can get to them. As though there's never going to be magicians again in the future. It's as simple as that. That's my opinion. My opinion is that if we have this attitude of, no, the secrets can't be given, well, how can anybody get into magic? How can anybody learn magic? If that was the case, then what I've done with Ryland is wrong. I've taught a kid how to do magic. But Ryland's an amazing magician. So why was it okay me teaching Ryland how to do magic and not somebody else? Because he's my son. Okay, so it's okay for a dad to teach his son. But when is it not okay then? Why is it not okay? How many people watching this right now learned how to do magic by going on YouTube? Because I guarantee you a lot of magicians, especially the newer magicians, got into magic by watching a program, whether it be David Blaine or David Copperfield or Dynamo or Chris Angel or something, or Fool Us. And as a result of watching those videos, they then go on YouTube to try and figure out how it works. And that's just great for the magic economy. More magicians getting into magic. That, when people get into magic, they spend a lot of money. My biggest fear My biggest fear in the whole world is dying suddenly and Sarah selling all of my magic tricks for the price that I told her that I paid for them. Like, she's laughing behind the thing, but it's true. Because that's my biggest fear. You know as well as me, when people get into magic, they spend a fortune on magic. That's good for the dealers. It's good for the creators. It's good for everybody. It's good for magic as a whole. The next best magician probably hasn't even got into magic yet. And when he does get into magic, he'll probably get into it by watching YouTube videos. So my answer to Justin is I totally respect your opinion and I understand where you're coming from. I just don't agree with you. I think it's an antiquated view, and that's strange coming from somebody who is so cutting edge. You know, a lot of the stuff that you do and a lot of your style and your presentation and everything is really cutting edge. And I want to say it again, I have nothing but respect for Justin. I really don't. But in this situation, I disagree. I think that we should allow people access to magic tricks, and we can't be the judge and jury about who should or shouldn't learn magic. But I want to know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know. This is a hot topic right now. Am I right? Am I wrong? Did you learn magic by getting into YouTube? Did you ever watch a YouTube video? And if you did, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so the next question comes from Demain Wheeler. I think I've butchered your name there, Demain. I'm sorry. Demain says, I love this channel. Thank you very much. Thanks for the content. You're welcome. My question, what are your plans for the channel after the pandemic? Well, the second that I'm allowed to perform live again, I'm shutting the YouTube channel down completely. No, I can't pull that off. I'm sorry, I'm not. I originally set this YouTube channel up as a vehicle for me and Ryland to learn magic together. That was it. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Ryland couldn't perform magic. I couldn't perform magic. If you look back at the beginning of this channel, you'll see that the first videos up were me and Ryland doing a review show. The first couple of reviews were done in my home office with banners for different companies in the background. We weren't really taking it very seriously. And it was just for a way for me and Ryland to learn and perform magic and learn new tricks every single week and present them. But very, very quickly, people caught on to the channel. And I've just watched the analytics and I've watched the stats, and it's going up and up and up and up and up. And I've now invested so much time into this channel. And I've got to be honest with you, and I haven't said this on video before, so you're hearing this for the first time. I am enjoying creating content for this YouTube channel more than anything else I do professionally, more than running Non-Stop Kids, more than running The Slightly Unusual, more than going out and performing. I'm really enjoying it, and I really feel like I'm making a difference. And I'm kind of at that point in my life where I think that's important. So what are my plans? My plans moving forward are to carry on doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to slow down. Obviously, I'm going to go back to performing, but I'm going to be incorporating those live performances into content for the channel. So the Magic Lives might not, at 6 o'clock, they might not always be me just performing to camera. It's going to be me performing out on the streets to people when I'm allowed to as well. This channel isn't going anywhere. In fact, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And obviously, I've got net tricks in the background. You would not believe how much effort myself and Sarah are putting into net tricks. You know, I mean, obviously Sarah's not performing. She doesn't perform. You wouldn't want to see Sarah on net tricks, but she's the person that's organizing everything behind the scenes and, you know, creating the set that we're going to be shooting from and everything. And I cannot wait to show you guys what I've got planned with this. It's absolutely amazing. And up until that point, I'm going to carry on creating content. I'm going to carry on doing what I'm doing. I'm going to be carrying on listening to what you guys say and creating videos on the topics that you want. So I promise you I'm not going anywhere. My plans are to keep doing what I'm doing. So the next question is from the Mook, and his question, her question, don't know. You've placed their card next to a key card, you've spread the deck face up, now what? What is your way of revealing their card? Well, I probably think the first thing I'd do is slap myself around the face and ask why I'm using a key card. I don't think I've ever used a key card for a very, very long time. Not that it's not good. I mean, I've been fooled by key cards in the past by people like Ryan Schultz, and, you know, especially when you take a key card to the next level, like floating key cards. That's something that's incredibly clever. I don't really use key cards, but I guess if I was going to use a key card, one of my favorite things is, there's two things that I like doing with a card revelation that kind of a key card allows you to do. And the first is, have you ever seen that thing it's kind of like a timing force. So let's say their card's there in the middle of the spread. I'll run my finger back and forth like this, and I'll say, look, I'm just going to run my finger back and forth, and I'll get somebody else that doesn't know the card. Anytime you want to, just say stop. Stop, and you can time it so it stops pretty much on their card, and if you're slightly out the way, you just come down and you just end up on their card. It's a beautiful moment. It really, really is. It's kind of like a timing force, a bit like where you're cutting the packets onto the table. It's like a timing force, but it's kind of done like that. The other thing that I really, really like when you're in that situation is using a pendulum. Now, if you want to know more about pendulums, you want to speak to Tom Mullinger, Jester Styles. There's nobody, or there's very few people I know that use pendulums as well as Jester. In fact, on the Alakazam Hub recently, on the Discord channel, he actually did a lecture all about pendulums and their use in commercial close-up magic. He might be doing that again. I know that he got some great feedback from it, and he's been asked by Alakazam to do it again, so maybe he will. But the use of a pendulum in that situation is great. It really is, because it just, you know where the card is. They know where the card is. You can hand them a pendulum. You can do that whole thing, and you can really build it up and take it from a simple card revelation to something that's nothing short of an absolute miracle. So those are probably the two things I do in that situation. Right, so the next question is from Mr. Harmon. Hey, Mr. Harmon, hope you're well. And the question is, what is your favorite genre of magic to perform, i.e. card magic? Well, my favorite genre is coin magic if I'm doing close-up magic. And the reason I love coin magic, and I think I've talked about this on the channel before, but very, very briefly, the reason I love coin magic is because it gives me an advantage when I'm in the real world. And what I mean by that is, there's very few magicians that do coin magic. So if I'm on a multi-magician job where I'm at a gig and there's like 6 or 7 magicians and they're all going around, I know that most of them are going to be doing card tricks, or maybe they'll do some sort of extreme burn, or maybe they'll do a rope trick. Very few of them will be doing coin magic. So by me going and focusing primarily on coin magic, it makes me stand out from everyone there. But even if I haven't got other magicians there, it's the same thing. And what I mean by that is, if you've ever walked up to somebody and you've said, hey, my name's Craig, let me show you a card trick. Well, you probably wouldn't say, hi, my name's Craig, but whatever your name is, hey, let me show you a card trick, and you take a deck of cards out and spread them, somebody's going to say, oh, I've seen that one before. I've never had that with coin magic. I've never walked over to a group, produced 3 coins very, very quickly, and had someone say, oh, yeah, I've seen that before. Most people haven't seen coin magic before. So again, it gives me a competitive advantage over anybody else. So that's one of the reasons I love coin magic. I also love coin magic because it's really visual. You know, it's eye candy, which is great when you've got a lot of people to go around. If you're doing walk around or tables and you've got a lot of people and you want to get around all of them, sometimes you got to be in, you got to be quick, you got to spend 2 or 3 minutes with a group and then move on to another group. With a pack of cards, you've got to have the card picked, you've got to maybe have it signed, have it put back, returned, controlled. It's normally a minute before something even happens, unless it's like a flash production or something. But with coin magic, I can have 10 moments of magic in the first like 20 or 30 seconds. So the coin magic is the answer. In terms of stage magic, I love doing the illusion show. I absolutely love doing illusions. There's something about it that I really enjoy doing. I love working as part of a team, and the illusion act has 2 or 3 people in it. What I hate about the illusion show is the faff. I hate the faff. Like, again, Sarah's behind the camera for this Q&A. She's not normally here. She's behind the camera. She'll tell you, when I'm doing an illusion show, normally I'm having to set the van up in the morning. Haven't I said? Like, I'm literally lugging illusions around for the first hours in the morning. I'm loading a van. We've got to get there way before anyone else is there to set everything up. We're not allowed to strike down until everyone's gone. And you know, there's a lot of negatives to running an illusion show. But when you're actually on stage and you're doing that actual show and you've got the big spectacle of the big illusions, for me, there's nothing better. I just love doing it. So yeah, for stage, I love doing the illusion show. For close-up, I'd say it's coin magic. Okay, so the next question is from Tyler Lunsford Magic. And Tyler asks the question, being a content creator myself, I admire your work ethic and consistency. How do you upload so much, and do you have any tips on time management or not getting creator burnout? Well, first of all, Tyler, I want to say that I checked your channel out and I really like it. And you've just got a subscriber from Magic TV. I think that you've got some good stuff going up there. And if anybody else wants to check out Tyler's channel, it's down below. There is a link in the description. Go check it out. He's got some good stuff going on. And so there's a few questions here. How do I upload so much? And do I have any tips on time management or not getting creator burnout? Creator burnout, right, okay, so let's address these one at a time. Creator burnout, to be honest, doesn't happen to me, or at least it hasn't up until this point. And the reason is I really enjoy doing what I do. And it goes back to what I said earlier on, in that I'm having more fun doing the videos for this YouTube channel now than anything else. So yeah, I'm creating a lot of content, I'm doing a lot of videoing, I'm doing a lot of editing, but I really enjoy the process. I woke up this morning, probably at about 6 o'clock to go and edit a video that I wanted to get up before I went to the gym. And I knew I wanted to edit that video really early on in the morning so I could get it up on YouTube. But that didn't feel like a chore for me. I really enjoyed doing it. And I'm enjoying doing all the research into topics. When I have an idea for a new topic, I kind of have notes pages and I kind of think, right, okay, this would be a good thing to talk about. Is this kind of more the thing that would be on a magic stuff, or is this more of a magic rant? Or maybe it's really something that I can't speak about for too long, in which case maybe it goes up as a segment on a 5x5. But I think it's about having fun with it and enjoying it. And if you ever start feeling burnt out, or if you ever start feeling like, oh my gosh, I've got to do another video now, well, maybe you need to make it more fun for yourself. Start doing videos on don't lose sight of why you were doing the channel in the first place, or what your mission statement is when you're doing this channel. What is your reason for doing the channel? What is your goal for doing the channel? A friend of mine who's a motivational speaker, his name's Crosley. He's it's kind of a business mentor, and Cros always talks about having a clear mental image, having a clear goal in mind of where you want to be. And I think that's very, very important in business. And really, when you think about it, a YouTube channel is a micro business. It's your business that you're running, and you're trying to get subscribers, which are like customers. So what's your reason for doing the channel, Tyler? Is it because you want to become a famous YouTuber? Is it because you want to, you have a message that you want to put across? What is it? And you want to make that clear mental image something that's not to do with money. You don't want to make it to do with money. And the reason you don't want to have a monetary goal as your clear mental image is because that's not a big enough driving force when shit happens. Because in life, shit does happen, right? Something will happen. The cat's been run over, or somebody's ill, or oh my gosh, this has just happened. And it's at times like that when you're kind of thinking, well, I've got to do a video tomorrow. I really don't feel like it. It's then that you need that clear mental image. And if you're thinking, well, I want to do this YouTube channel because I want to be a millionaire by the time I'm 30 or whatever it may be, well, that's not a big enough driving force. But if you want to do, like for me, for example, the reason now that I want to do Magic TV is I feel like I'm making a difference. I feel like the content that I'm putting out is helping people. And I see it in the comments all the time. So many people saying, your content's really helping, your content's really helping. That's my driving force. And also the reason I do the rants is because I want to be the person that's addressing these issues. There's stuff that's going on in the magic community that's not been talked about for a long time. People hush under their breath, but I want to shine a light on it because hopefully that's the only way that this will change. It's as simple as that. So my goal with the channel is I want more subscribers because I want to try and help as many people as possible. What's your goal, Tyler? Because that's going to ultimately help you when it comes to your content creation. It's going to avoid burnout. In terms of consistency and how do you manage your time and how do you upload so much? Well, you want to have a schedule. That's the important things. There's several different things that you need to do with YouTube, but one of the things that's really, really important is you have to be consistent. And it's the big mistake that I see a lot of YouTubers make, even experienced YouTubers that have been doing this a lot longer than me. They make the mistake of not being consistent. So they'll put a video up, they'll have a little flurry, they'll put a video up and then another video and another video, and then they won't put a video up for like 6 months. And then they'll put another video up going, hey, I've been away for 6 months, but now I'm back. So let's, and now I'm going to be more regular. Then they'll do 3 or 4 videos and they won't do a video again for a while. You want to be consistent and have a schedule. Now you don't have to have a crazy schedule like me, but using my channel as an example, people know that there's going to be a shorts at 2:00. So at 2:00, they know there's going to be a shorts. For people that are into the shorts, they know they can see a new one at 2:00. They know there's going to be a Magic Live at 6:00. They know at Monday at 9:00 is going to be a 5x5. Tuesday at 9:00 is going to be a Talk Magic. 5:00 on a Wednesday is going to be a review show. People know when my videos go up. They know it. I talk about it every single day. Hey, it's 9:00. It's 12:00 on a Sunday. It's time for a Q&A. People know that the Q&A goes up on a Sunday. So you need to have a schedule, because having a schedule gives you something to aim for. If you've got no clear defined date that you put videos up on, then you can very easily skip a few days and go, well, it doesn't really matter. I'll just get 2 up next week or whatever it may be. But if you've made a promise to your subscribers that you're going to have a video up every Friday or every Thursday or wherever it may be, then you have to do it. You then are making yourself accountable to not only yourself, but also to your subscribers. So have a schedule in place and shout it from the rooftops. Make it part of your playlist. Make it part of your stuff that you say at the very, very beginning. Hey, my name's Tyler. Welcome back to my channel. It's Monday, which means it's time for a blah, whatever it may be. You want to make sure that you have that schedule and everybody is aware of that schedule. It's your promise to your subscribers that that's what you're going to do. And then don't be disheartened by viewing figures. YouTubers, one thing that I found is YouTubers obsess over analytics. They look at every single video. And I've got a friend who does YouTube videos, and he spent absolutely ages, 2 weeks, putting this video together that he convinced himself it was going to go viral, and it ended up doing nothing. And he got really, really depressed about it and didn't post a video for 2 or 3 weeks because he got himself into a funk. You don't want to do that. You don't want to take things on a video by video basis. When I started posting videos on this channel, I used to get 20 views, 30 views, 35 views, no subscribers, 1 subscriber, whatever it may be. And then over time, it's improved and improved and improved and improved to the point that now we're getting about 22,000 hours of watch time a month. So how do you get to that position? You get to that position by not looking at things on a video by video basis, but instead trying to look at things as a whole. Give yourself a year. Okay, I'm going to give myself a year, and in a year, I want to make sure I've got this many views, because I can guarantee you there's so many magicians that have grand plans to start a YouTube channel. And then what happens is they post videos, they see hardly any results. And then they give up, and they come back to it 6 months later and they do the same thing. And it becomes something that happens again and again and again and again and again. Now you've got an advantage because your channel has been going for a long time and you do look like you're fairly consistent, which is pretty good. That's really good. But what you need to do now is you need to make sure that you're focusing on making sure that you're constantly putting out this material, and don't get disheartened when you put something up and it doesn't hit like you think it would. So hopefully that helps. Like I say, I will be doing more videos on YouTube in the future, but if you have any other questions specifically about particular subjects to do with YouTube, let me know in the comments down below, Tyler, and I will try and answer them. But once again, guys, check out Tyler's channel. It's really good. Okay, so the next question is from Max Gibson, and Max says, I have a question for your next Q&A. What impromptu tricks can you do with a borrowed Polymer banknote? A lot of borrowed note effects can be done now because of how rigid the new Polymer notes are. I know it's a pain in the ass, isn't it, Max? It really is. I'm doing a video on this. I am actually doing a video on this. It's coming out soon as a magic stuff. So I don't want to tip my load on that too much. I will say that having played with the Polymer notes for quite a while now, you are still able to do a lot of stuff with Polymer notes that you can do with regular banknotes. You just need to kind of be more aware of it. So for example, you can still do a $100 bill switch. It is still quite easily possible to do a $100 bill switch. What I advise that you do with the $100 bill switch though, is I advise that you pre-fold a note, because if you try and fold a note on the fly, it makes it really, really difficult. If you pre-fold a note, what I did is I took a note and I pre-folded it, and I even ironed the creases into it. So it folds absolutely perfectly. So now I can do any $100 bill switch type routines that I want to do. Yeah, I can't borrow a note, but to be honest, I don't borrow a note for the $100 bill switch anyway. So that's one tip. You can still use those. You just need to kind of pre-fold them. That helps. But I am going to be doing a video on this on magic stuff soon. I've actually got several routines that actually work better with the polymer notes than they would do with the old style banknotes, and they're old ones that people don't even know about. So I'm going to put that video up soon. Look out for it. But as a brief synopsis, you can still do stuff like extreme burn. You can still do stuff like $100 bill switch and thumb bill switches and things like that. You just need to make sure that you're pre-folding stuff. And actually, you don't always need to pre-fold stuff. So if you know the Richard Sanders bill to marker pen, and if you don't, it's the best bill to marker pen there is, and it just uses a thumb tip and a Sharpie marker. It's incredible. It's on the Richard Sanders show. That routine works even better with polymer banknotes. It really does. If you don't know it, go check it out. I can do a magic live on it if you want me to as well. Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so the next question is again by Mr. Harmon, and Mr. Harmon asks the question, will you be interviewing David Penn or Nikolas Mavresis? David Penn, tick, done, in the bag. He went up on Tuesday. I know you saw it because you commented on the video. But yeah, so David is done. It was an amazing interview. It was kind of, this is your life of David Penn's career. And that guy has done so much. And we talked about the Wizard product review in great detail. So go check that out. That's on the channel right now. As for Nikolas Mavresis, I have been speaking to him. He said to me in the past that he was unsure about doing an interview because his English isn't perfect. And I've said to him, I've seen him on the Elitism lives. I've seen him on the instructional videos for a lot of his products, and I think it's going to be absolutely fine. So I'll reach out to him and ask him again. I don't like to push people when I speak to them about interviewing them on Talk Magic, but I will reach out and talk to him again because let's be honest, he's come out of nowhere and he's a really good creator. So I would like to get him on the channel. Last time he said, let me think about it. Let me go and chase him up, Mr. Harmon. I'll get back to you on that. Okay, so the next question is by Steve Wessler. Hey, Steve, how you doing? He says, do you believe virtual magic shows are here to stay post-COVID, family birthday party shows in particular? The answer, very, very simply, is yes. I think that virtual is going to be here for a very, very long time. And at least in my companies, we're not taking virtual off the menu at all. I think that with traditional sort of close-up magic and cabarets, I think that weddings are never going to be virtual. It just doesn't work. You know, you want to have weddings live. And I think you want to have family parties and birthday parties live. But I think what we're going to be seeing is we're going to be seeing, at least moving forward, that more corporates are going to be doing virtual events, because corporates spend so much money on planning an event, you know, getting people to come to the event, putting them up in hotels, hiring out massive conference centers. The cost can be literally millions. And I think that what they've realized is that with the right streaming software, they can actually hold hybrid events where maybe just the key players or the key movers and shakers are invited to the event. And rather than having thousands at the event, have maybe dozens of, well, not dozens, but hundreds. And then other people can stream live into the event or come into the event virtually. I think that we'll see a lot of hybrid events happening. I still think people will be booking entertainment virtually and also live, but I do think that virtual is here to stay. As for families and birthday parties, well, Sarah's been monitoring the stats with Nonstop Kids, which is my kids' entertainment company. Where are we since the government's announcement, Sarah, in terms of where people are with regards to inquiries? Because I know that, like, from the majority of last year, it was all virtual, wasn't it? I know that over the summer last year, we kind of had a lot of garden parties and live entertainment.
Yeah, and we're starting to get inquiries and bookings for garden parties again now.
And are the virtual parties going down?
Slightly reducing, but we're still getting a number of them coming through.
And do you think that's going to stay? Because Sarah's in charge of a lot of these stats.
Virtual parties stayed last year, even when people could have garden parties.
So there you go. So last year, even when the UK opened up and it was help out to eat out and all that sort of stuff, we were still booking virtual parties. And from speaking to customers that we've had feedback, a lot of parents have said they're going to book virtual parties again because it's less hassle. Isn't that the case?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what they've said.
They've said they're going to be, because let's be honest, it's a lot of money to book a kid's party, having a hall, having a venue, organising food, catering, all of that stuff.
It's also really popular for people that have got a family and friends in other countries.
Yeah, exactly. If you've got family and friends all over the world, you can have a virtual party and they can all come together. And a lot of people are seeing how good a virtual party can be. The other thing is, you've got a lot of children. How many times have we heard parents say, I'm not going to book a party for my child because they're anxious or they've got nerves or they're autistic or they can't handle being around a large crowd of people? Those sorts of children, the parents of children that have kind of anxiety about that sort of thing, a virtual party is perfect because they can be surrounded by friends without actually being the centre of attention. They don't even have to have their camera on if they don't want to. And also there's people that live in like the middle of nowhere that we couldn't reach before, that we can now offer them an opportunity to have a virtual party. And also it's a cheaper alternative. And we've been booking virtual parties all over the world, haven't we? Like,
yeah,
like
Canada, Australia, America,
Singapore, we just did.
Yeah, we did. We've had
Dubai.
Yeah, Dubai. Had a few. Yeah, loads of places.
So we're getting people, and we're actually advertising in different countries. Yeah, our company is advertising in different countries because we've looked at it as an opportunity where we can now start getting bookings from all over the world. So I personally think, look, parents are always going to want to book kids' parties. There's always going to be live parties there, and we are seeing live entertainment on the up, and more people are booking live parties. In when is that? Sort of June, July, August, I'm guessing, or is it even from April?
We've got some that even are interested in having like a small garden party.
Okay, so like when the rule of six comes in and stuff.
People,
okay,
yeah.
So yeah, people are always going to be booking live entertainment, but I don't think the virtual parties are going to go away. At least from our experience at this end, I think the virtual parties are going to continue. I hope that helps. My advice for any entertainer is continue to have that virtual party option on their website, because last year the reason we did so well in December and January is because over the summer when people were booking live entertainment in the UK, a lot of entertainers, they stopped talking about virtual parties, didn't they? And we just carried on talking about virtual parties as well as live entertainment. So when the country got locked down again around about November and December, when restrictions got put in place, we were still there to be able to offer virtual entertainment. We've been banging on about it the entire time. So my advice would be to have two. Be focused on virtual, but also don't dismiss the live entertainment, because there are going to be people who want to book live entertainment again. Okay, so my next question is from Hungry and Hungover. He's very complimentary about a lot of stuff that we've been talking about. Love performing, blah, 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 blah. I'm glad that all helped. That's great. Okay, so my question this week, what is one of your favourite online lectures of any magician, Penguin Live at the Table, that you would recommend everyone check out? I absolutely love the G's at Penguin Live lecture. G. I'm going to be doing an interview with him at some point. I talked about him on the channel over and over again. He has got some incredible stuff. I've done videos on some of his material before. G is incredible. He's amazing. He really is. So G, Penguin Live, honestly, get that. It's incredible. He does this thing with this blank card where he shows a blank card, they sign it, they hold on to it in their hand. He then gets somebody to name a card, and the signed blank card turns into the spectator's freely named card printed on the front of the back. And if you saw the 3 best tricks with a borrowed phone that you've never seen before, the one where I pull the camera icon out and take a picture with it on their phone, that's a G creation off there as well. He does so much stuff with Facebook Messenger and social media. It's just incredible. Mario the Maker, Penguin Live, Mario the Maker lecture is also really, really good. And if you can get the masterclass by Assy Wind, Assy Wind's masterclass from Vanishing Ink, that is incredible. That is so good. Assy Wind, his wild card, I do all of the time. I put that on a Magic Live as well. And if you want to go a little bit old school and you want to look at the Alakazam Academies, then check out the Alakazam Academy, Mark Spellman's Alakazam Academy, which ran for about 47 hours. And it's some of the most commercial mentalism you've ever seen. On top of that, just so you know, I am going to be doing an Alakazam Academy soon. Very, very soon. I've got an Alakazam Academy coming up, and it's going to be all about coin magic. So if you're a coin geek and you like coin magic, keep an eye on Alakazam, because I'm going to be doing a full-on Alakazam Academy, and it's going to be all about coin magic. Okay, so the next question is by Think Again. Thanks very much for asking the question, Think Again. How do you feel about making TV magic shows like Magic for Humans, etc., editing the tricks in post to clean them up instead of showing the tricks as they really look? Is it necessary to keep people from reverse engineering, or do you see them as hacks? I don't know. My attitude generally as a rule to TV magic is, as a community, we should be super positive about any TV magician. And the reason for that is because ultimately it's really good for magic. I see magicians, right? And what they do is they go on their public Facebook page, not on like groups for magicians, but they go onto their public Facebook page and they do a little rant. Oh, I just saw Dynamo on TV and he sucks. He can't do this. He can't do that. He can't do the other. Oh, he's terrible. I could do what he does and I could do it better. It just comes across as bitter. What you have to understand is that if a magician is being shown on TV, ultimately that's good for magic, because what that's going to do is that's going to spotlight magic in a really positive way to magicians. To lay people who are then ultimately going to be booking entertainment for their next event, whether it be a christening or a wedding or a private party or a corporate event. And they're going to be thinking, well, let's have a magician. I really enjoyed this guy on TV. I really enjoyed this guy on TV. Let's get a magician, and then we benefit. So I'm really positive about all magic performances on TV. Even if I think it wasn't a particularly great performance, I'll be really positive. And if somebody says to me at a gig, hey, what do you think of this guy? I'm like, yeah, it's great. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it? Because I don't want to come across as anything like bitter or anything. So I think that's really, really important, that we're all, as a community, really positive about anything that goes out on TV. Now, I've heard some magicians turn around to me and they say, well, it's ridiculous because, Dynamo, he did the phone in bottle, and you can't do phone in bottle. So people at gigs, they ask me to do a trick that you can't do because it was stooged or it was faked or it was video edited. Well, my attitude towards that is just twofold. One, if it's been edited in post, it's probably because maybe there was an issue or something and they wanted to fix it. I'd rather have the video go out slightly edited, but it's not exposed, than just shove it out and have exposure happening right there on the screen. So that's the first thing to consider. But the second thing is, make it a challenge to yourself. And what I mean by that is, if you keep getting asked about phone in bottle and you're getting frustrated because you can't do phone in bottle because that's not a trick that you can do live in the real world, well, presentationally, how can you change that? Because for me, for years, I loved it when people said, oh, can you do phone in bottle? Because I'd just turn around and I'd say, well, I could, but that's Dynamo's thing. He's done it. Let me see if I can do it even in an even more impressive way. How about if I took that bottle over there and you lend me a coin and I put that coin in that bottle while you're holding on to it? How does that sound? And then they go, yeah. And I convince them through presentation that putting a coin in a bottle is better than putting a phone in a bottle. It's still a borrowed object. To a layman, it's just as impressive if I frame it that way. And you know what? The new Henry Harrius item, the cube in bottle, that is getting done for every bride and groom. Because when I do cube in bottle, and I will be doing cube in bottle, and I then give that to that bride and groom, they are going to remember that. And it's more impressive pushing a cube in a bottle while they're holding onto it in their hands than doing a phone in a bottle. So the point I'm trying to make is, don't look at it as a negative, look at it as a positive, and understand that as magicians, we cheat. Magic's not real, right? We cheat. You palming a coin is cheating. Controlling the card to the top of the deck is cheating. Editing a video is cheating. We're all cheating. It's just to what degree that you think it's okay to cheat or not cheat. I see a lot of people that go, oh, you can't, this is not fair that Dynamo does this because it's very angly and it works from that one angle and one angle only. Well, that's just taking advantage of the environment that you perform in. If I'm sitting down, I'm going to lap because I'm in an environment where I can lap. A close-up guy that's doing mix and mingle that's standing up over there wouldn't look at me and go, well, you're cheating because you're lapping. I'm just taking advantage of the situation I find myself in. So I don't have a problem with it, to be honest. In fact, I'm a massive advocate of TV magic because ultimately it's better, it's good for us as a community than anything. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. The next question is from Phil K77. Hey Phil, and he says, over the last couple of months I've invested quite a lot of time in learning the multiple push-off. I noticed that you usually opt for a get ready rather than this move. Is there a reason for this? And the reason is, Phil, in all honesty, it's what you just said. It takes 2 or 3 months to learn a decent push-off, and I've never had anyone in my entire career turn round to me and say, hang on a second, Mr. Magician, that would have been good, but I saw you use your thumb to lift one card up at the back. That never happens. That never happens, because if you've seen my live videos that I post a lot on the 5x5, you'll see that I use a lot of misdirection. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening. There's a lot of presentational stuff going on when I'm actually performing, which means that no one ever watches the get ready. Now, having said that, since I've been doing a lot of stuff on YouTube, I have been learning. I dug out my old Andy Gladwin DVDs, and I've been watching and learning his master push-off, because I think it's an important thing to do if you're doing a lot of stuff on video. But it's also about having time. I do a lot of stuff on YouTube. I run 2 companies. I perform. I'm a dad. I'm a husband. There's a lot of stuff that I have going on, and also I'm trying to binge watch every single episode of Doctor Who with my kids, which is kind of important to me as well. So it's about finding time, and I'm learning a lot of other stuff all the time as well. But I do agree, having a decent push-off is absolutely fantastic. But I think the only person that would notice that really is a magician, if you've got the right focus when it comes to presentation, when it comes to audience management. And as I say, at no point is ever anybody burning my hands. Unlike a YouTube video, when I'm out performing in the real world, and again, look at my live performances on 5x5, nobody is ever burning my hands, because I'm normally getting them laughing, or I'm going in a completely different direction with this stuff. But now I'm doing a lot of stuff on YouTube. I am learning a push-off, but it's only because of necessity, and I feel now is the time to learn it. So yeah, and I'm also learning a pinky pulled, using the pinky to get a break into 2 or 3 cards or whatever it may be. Something I've never really needed to learn before, but I am putting effort into that right now. I hope that answers your question. Okay, so the next question is by Alan Zom. Hello, Alan. And he says, Craig, I saw your video the other morning on the Rubik's Cube solve in 1 second. I use, and I'm sure you're familiar with Michael Murray's The Solution. Yes, it's part of my cabaret show. It's brilliant. Question, is there any way that you could do a video explanation for those of us who put in a request on your Rubik's Cube solved in 1 second, or where or whom you can find this set of moves? Thanks, Alan. Yeah, absolutely, dude. I'm doing the hows and whys videos that I do. I've done one on the Flipper coin. I've done one on Memdeck Magic. I've got one coming out, I think it, you know what? When you watch this video, it might have already gone up. It's either going up this Thursday or next Thursday, and it's on Coinbox Magic. But then the next one I'm doing is on Rubik's Cubes. And I'm going to be talking about everything, how to solve Rubik's Cube, why you should solve Rubik's Cube, techniques with Rubik's Cubes, the best tricks with Rubik's Cubes. I'm going to go really in depth with this stuff. And I'm going to be talking about my variation of the 1 second solve, because I really do think it's as good as Instacube. You just see it go. I believe I'm going to be doing an Alakazam thing on their Discord channel as well. On the Alakazam Hub, I'm going to be doing a lecture on original cube magic, because I've got a lot of stuff with cubes that I do that nobody else does. So you might want to reach out to Alakazam and find out when that's happening. But I'm definitely doing hows and whys of the Rubik's Cube. But yeah, I know what you mean with the 1 second solve. It's kind of a thing that I do. I've lectured on it in the past. Last time I lectured on it was at the Blackpool Magic Club. But yeah, it's something that I can go through for you, no problem. Okay, so the next question is by NLG Paradox. Hello, Craig. Hope your family is doing great. I think they are, yes. This channel's my second home, so thank you. Please, can you interview Luca Volpe as well as Louis Lavelle? Yes, I'm speaking to both of those guys. I'm speaking to D. Christopher, actually, about Louis Lavelle, and I'd love to have them both on as interviews, absolutely. And the next question was... thanks for everything that you do. Wow, that was really quick. Okay, so thank you for making that comment. Really appreciate it. And yes, both of those people will be hopefully doing interviews sooner rather than later. So the next question is by Steve Wessler, and the question is, if you were only performing as a mentalist, who would your target audience be? I think it would have to be corporate shows. Corporate shows mainly, to be perfectly honest. I was speaking to Steve Deller about this, who is a mentalist, and he says the problem with being a mentalist is weddings don't really want mentalists. They want magicians. They don't like the idea of having a walk around mentalist. They want it to be upbeat. And I know mentalists can be upbeat, but a lot of laymen don't think of it that way. And he was saying he really struggles getting wedding bookings as a mentalist, and he only gets weddings when he's actually advertising himself as a magician. But I think on the flip side, corporates are always looking for something different. And magic has been around for so long, and so many corporates have booked magic, that I think that having a mentalist really kind of appeals to them. At least I'm finding that when we advertise the Phantasmagoria show that me and Steve Della do together, when we're doing that kind of magic and mentalism thing, corporates really like the idea of having the mentalism aspect to it. So I think that if I was a mentalist, I would be targeting corporates, because I think that's the audience that really kind of the whole mentalism thing appeals to more than anyone else. Okay, so the next question is by Mr. Rattles. Hey there, how you doing? Question, do you worry about noise from shells? No, it's something that you don't need to worry about. Especially if you're performing in the places that I do, noisy environments and places like that. You know, you're never going to have to worry about the noise from the shell. Obviously, you want to practice this stuff so that it isn't an issue, because obviously the more practice that you put into this, the better it is. But I've never had an issue with the shell. Even you want to avoid dropping a shell onto a coin, because it doesn't sound right compared to the noise of dropping a coin onto a coin. So you want to avoid that, but that comes with practice. But any noise that you get within performance that's a result of a shell, it's really nothing to worry about. Honestly, it's really not. The other question you ask is, do you prep your hands in any way ahead of doing card magic? Yes, I wash them and I sanitize them. That's the only prep that I do. I don't do anything else. I don't know, Sarah's behind the camera. Sarah, do I prep my hands in any way before I do card magic?
Not that I've seen.
Not that I see. Just wash them and sanitize them before a gig and during a gig these days. But other than that, that's it. Okay, so the final question is by Chris Stacey. Thank you, Craig. You're welcome, Chris. I'm a diabetic and I've recently started suffering with trigger finger and tendinitis. I'm very sorry to hear that. It's really knocked my confidence, as I love performing sleight of hand magic. I'm aware of disabled magicians who do great things, and I know Wayne Dobson has products that can be performed for the less able, but do you have any advice for someone in my situation? I am doing a video on this, Chris. I'm doing a video on, because this is not the first time this question has been asked. So it's not, you know, it's a question that's been asked quite a few times. So I am doing a video on this. What I will say to you ahead of that video is you want to look into a booklet that Wayne Dobson released many, many years ago called Look No Hands. And it's a booklet of 7 routines that you don't even need to touch the props, and you can perform miracles. Now, if you want to see a performance, there's an ace assembly in there where you have 4 aces and they disappear and they appear in one packet, and you don't even touch the cards. And I reviewed it way back in the day on the Wizard Product Review, and I performed it to David Penn, and he was absolutely fooled. And it takes a lot to fool David Penn. You watch that video, go on YouTube and type in Wizard Product Review, Look No Hands, you'll see Wayne Dobson, you'll find a video of me performing it to Dave, and he just absolutely freaked out. He couldn't understand how I did what I did. And Wayne contacted me afterwards and said, thank you so much for performing that. You did a great job. But every single routine in that booklet is exactly the same. It is amazing. It's typical Wayne Dobson thinking. And you, like I say, you can do the whole thing without even needing to pick up cards. You can do a whole set using that material, and it's absolutely amazing. So I am going to do a video on this in the future, but do yourself a favor, contact Wayne or Mike Sullivan and say to them, I want a copy of Look No Hands by Wayne Dobson, and they'll hook you up, and it is brilliant. It's just what you are looking for, my friend. There is one final question. It's by Magic Elliot, and the question is, I'm obsessed with tricks that are to do with heads and tails on a coin. As everybody around the world from about 5 years up knows what it means. What are your favorite tricks that involve heads or tails on a coin? And can you recommend any good routines that involve this kind of magic? I don't know many. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know many. It's something I'll do a bit of research into for you, Mr. Elliott. There's 2 things that come instantly to mind. On the new product that Greg Wilson put out called Split Focus, which is his routines with like a split coin, but with an extra bit to it as well. It's a very, very nice product. We'll be reviewing it at some point on the review show. But on there, he's got a wonderful routine where he plays a game of heads or tail with the spectator, and they always fail. He gets heads every single time. Then he goes into a pseudo explanation of how this routine works, and he talks about switching in a double-headed coin and having a double-tailed coin, having a regular coin and switching it in, and he's using that kind of excuse to do kind of this really visual flurry type thing, but it's kind of a pseudo explanation to this heads and tails routine, and it ends up with just the spectator being so confused about the whole thing. It's absolutely brilliant. The second thing that I'd recommend is that old stunt that's sold, it's new, where you have a whole bunch of coins and you shake them. You get the spectator to shake them and drop them on the table, and you've made a prediction, and you keep getting them to shake them, and every time there's a tail, you eliminate the tails, and you keep shaking until there's one coin which is heads up, and it's got a date on there, and then you have predicted the date, and that uses double-headed coin, and it's as old as the hills, but it's a really nice routine. The other thing that I think of is Kennedy on his Penguin at the Table lecture. He put out a routine that I spoke about in the openers video that I put on Magic Stuff a few weeks ago, called Heads and Tails, where he plays a game of heads and tails with the audience. So he's got the entire audience to stand up. He has a member of the audience come up on stage, and he gets them to spin a coin, heads or tails, heads or tails, heads or tails, and whatever it lands on, the people in the audience either put the hands on the heads or the hands on the tails, and whatever the spectator on stage has the coin land on, they have to sit down until he's left with one person, and there's been an envelope on the table that's predicted that whole thing from the very beginning. It's a really, really nice routine. It's a great opener to a show, and he goes through a technique there of being able to control the toss of a heads of a regular coin, but in a very easy way. I've seen controlled tosses before, and they're very difficult, but this is a really easy way to control the toss. It's not a toss as such, it's spinning it on the table and then getting the spectators to slam their hand down on it, and he's controlling that every single time. And I've never seen this technique before. He put it on the Penguin live lecture, and it's brilliant. It's got so many different applications. So I'll look into others, but from the top of my head, those are the three that kind of spring instantly to mind. So there you go, guys. That's another Q&A in the bag. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And don't forget, if you want to see more videos like this, please do me a favor. Subscribe to the video, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment down below. I love reading all your comments. Also, follow us on Instagram. We're going to be posting quite regularly on Instagram moving forward. And I'm going to be back on Monday with a magic, what am I doing? 5x5 at 9 o'clock. There's going to be a shorts at 2 o'clock, and at 6 o'clock there's going to be a magic live. And on Tuesday we have a talk magic that you will not believe. It's going to blow you away. So guys, thank you so much for joining with the Q&A. Have an amazing rest of the Sunday. I'll see you again soon. My name's Craig from Magic TV.